This is our specifically our CRDS program info session. So I'm Sarah Hawley. I'm the program advisor. So you will see many emails from me if you apply and you are admitted. Kind of assist everybody with registration and any kind of direction and assistance that you do need with the program. So I'm usually your first contact with any questions you have. And tonight we just wanted to kind of talk about our program, more about the student experience side, because you're going to get lots of information about admission and how that all works and tuition and all those things as you kind of go along and progress with your application and your admission. So we have our peer mentors tonight that are hosting this, and they are senior students in our program. And this is actually their senior practicum, which takes place in your final year of your program. And we just kind of felt that sharing the student experience side of the program is something that's more valuable and more beneficial to people who have applied, who are interested in applying to the program, and kind of getting their perspective and take on it. So I'm going to hand it over to them, and I'm very excited for everybody, and I hope to see and meet everybody after Christmas when things start rolling out for admission.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lindsay. I'm going to get us started today. First of all, quick question for Bailey and Sarah. Are we not letting them chat in the chat box until the end, or?
Whatever your preference is, I can answer questions like
I can too.
related to admission throughout the presentation as well.
Yeah, we can monitor it. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. For our attendees, I would also recommend getting a pen and a piece of paper handy to write your questions down. We will have a Q&A session at the end of our presentation here, so just get that pen and paper or type in your computer, whichever. But that being said, welcome. Community Rehabilitation and Disability Studies is the program for any individual who has great satisfaction in helping others. And that is where I'm going to leave that for our introduction. The first thing we'd like to do is our land acknowledgement. What's coming up? Okay, there we go. The University of Calgary, located in the heart of Southern Alberta, both acknowledges and pays tribute to the traditional territories of the peoples of Treaty 7, which include the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprised of the Siksika, excuse me, the Piikani, and the Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, including Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta Districts 5 and 6.
Okay, so sorry, if you're looking at me from below, it's my camera's flipped for some reason, but anyways, yeah, I'm gonna do the table of contents. This is just what we're gonna cover tonight. First, we're just going to introduce us a little bit, get to know us a little bit, what CRDS is, then more program information, and then we're just gonna get into our student experiences and what you guys will experience as well. So yeah. So I'm going to start. So as you can see from the photo, and I'm looking away, but the camera, my name is Ruby. I am actually in my 5th year doing a double major in psychology and CRDS. I am planning to be a psychologist, so I'm going to apply for my master's in counseling. So just what I wanted to do. And just so you guys can get to know me a little bit, my hobbies are watching anime, if there's any anime fans out there, and I do martial arts as well. So yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Hi, I'm Laura Olivares. I'm a 4th-year transfer student at the CRDS program. I did my diploma as a speech language pathologist assistant at McEwen in Edmonton. And I'm an aspiring speech language pathologist, so I decided to come here to the CRDS program, and it's been really great so far. in my last year, so that's awesome. And then my hobbies include coloring, and I like to do interior design too.
Hi, everyone again. I'm Lindsay. I am considered a mature student returning to studies. I earned my rehabilitation rehabilitation therapy assisting diploma from SAIT 12 years ago, then chose to return to school while raising my two boys with my husband. With a wealth of life experience, I transferred my diploma into the 2-year CRDS program. And from here, I plan to pursue a master's in physiotherapy at the U of A.
Hi everyone, my name is Walia Khan. I am a 5th-year CRDS student aspiring to go into social work, and my hobbies include makeup, Legos, and spending time with my dog Fesco. We also have a 5th peer mentor who was unable to join us today, but I will briefly introduce her. Her name is Shoku Sharon. She is a 4th-year CRDS major, aspiring healthcare worker, and her hobbies include drawing and acro.
So we'll quickly enter our next topic, which is what is CRDS? So CRDS is a for anyone who has a desire to create a deeper and more equitable understanding of people with all kinds of abilities. So we aim to build partnerships in research, education, policy practice to help improve the well-being of people with diverse abilities and disabilities. So CRDS explores the economic, the social, the political factors that marginalize all sorts of people. And through this program, you learn by working on real world problems in class and through supervised practicums to gain skills to design, deliver, and evaluate community-based support services and build alliances for full community participation. So this is a very interdisciplinary approach, which combines theory, community work, and field experiences together.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for introducing what CRDS kind of is. I'm just going to go a little bit more in depth with the program. So CRDS program does offer flexibility with minors, electives, and opportunities just to study a little bit more. You can actually choose, there is 2 routes in this program, the 4-year program and the 2-year program. I don't know if this is possible, Sarah, but we kind of wanted to break out into breakout rooms just to go through it separately for the students. I don't know if that's possible.
I don't think so, since this is a webinar, not a meeting.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
totally fine. What we can do is we're just gonna go through the 4-year route first and then the 2-year route. The main difference is 4-year route is for high school students or mature students coming in without post-secondary studies, and then 2-year route is for the university transfer students or individuals coming in with an existing degree. So we're just gonna go and start with the 4-year program first.
Okay, I'm going to briefly introduce the 4-year route program as quickly as I can. So the foundational courses at the 200-300 level start by laying the groundwork for the upper level courses in the major that should be taken first. And then the 400-500 level courses should be taken in your 3rd, 4th year. Some required courses, I will dig a little bit deeper into that in the next slide, but I will start by saying academic writing is one of our required courses, and we all would highly recommend taking that course in the 1st year. This program does introduce a lot of academic writing assignments, and that course just helps set you up for success for courses beyond that academic course. They introduce topics of APA 7 and help enhance writing skills as well. For the options, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into that with the next slide we've made of the mind map. So this is more of a visual just to kind of explain what the 4-year route could look like. So starting from, for high school students, prerequisites for this program may include ELA 30-1, Bio 30, 3 approved courses, 1 which may be an approved option, and what approved option courses that are valid are found on the BCR website. In terms of core classes, there are 21 units needed, which include core 205, 207, 209, 321, 435, 441, and 569. We also do need 9 units from practice, which include 487, 594, and 595. There are 6 units in core as well, which are 471, 473, and 475. 3 units, including 510 or 553, and then the academic writing course, which is also 3 units. In addition, in terms of open options, we do need 9 units in health options, 12 units for senior social science options, 3 units in management options, and 54 open options. So basically, 1 course equals 3 units. So breaking it down, 9 units would be 3 courses within that option. The first 2 years of the BCR program consist of foundational courses and courses from other disciplines and open options. I know this is a lot, but Lindsay graciously also made an additional document that does kind of break down what these courses look like in a more simpler manner. We will share that momentarily, but it's basically a list of what, for example, senior social options could look like. It is a long list Lindsay spent a lot of time making, which we really appreciate and thank her for, but it just breaks it down to what courses qualify to match that option. If anyone is interested in this, please contact Lindsay. She can email this PowerPoint with the links in it as well.
I also want to add to that amazing document, things slightly change year to year because this is based from the calendar. So I did calendar changes already. So some things could be added, some things could be taken away. So it's really good to use as a reference, but the updated version is always going to be in the U of C calendar as well to follow. So, but it's a really great visual, and I like how you listed it really clearly, Lindsay. So good job on that. That took a
I
lot of
had
work.
a feeling you were going to be like, can I steal that?
But
No,
yes,
it looks great.
please do refer back to the UCalgary BCR website. And if anyone does have any questions about any courses in the future, please contact Sarah or Benjamin, our academic advisors. They will help you out graciously.
Yeah, just a little add to that. Thank you, Lilia, for just like breaking everything down. Just a little add, what's really special about the 4-year route is you can actually do a combined major with psychology, which is actually not available for the 2-year route. But yeah, if you do have any questions for that, we're gonna save a little bit time for a question and answer for a little bit end. But if you do want to do a combined major, which I was graciously introduced to and Sarah helped me actually apply to, please contact Sarah for that. So yeah, but we'll move on to the 2-year route now.
So for the 2-year route for this program, we have a few of the required courses and options here listed on the slide. So the required courses again is academic writing. It's a foundational course everyone needs to take so that you can prepare for those classes that are more heavy in the writing department and the essay department. They're all very interesting, but it is really important that we learn how to use APA 7, learn how to cite, learn how to do all those things, learn how to write concisely, because that's where your grades come from, right? So that's really, really important. And then for the 2-year program, there's also our core classes which start which are the community rehabilitation classes, and there's 9 courses that we need to take for those. So for the required options, so please make note of any course prerequisites before enrolling. Since you're enrolling in courses that are at the higher level, like your 3rd and 4th year, you want to make sure that there are no courses that you had to take before enrolling into those higher level ones. Those will all be listed when you apply on your portal. So always make sure to keep an eye out for those. So in specific, we have to take one management course, so that is 3 units or 3 credits, 4 health courses, which are 12 credits or 12 units, and then 5 courses in the senior social sciences, which is 15 units or credits. For the 2-year route, obviously we have fewer requirements since we're coming in from previous studies and other diplomas or fields, things like that. And then you have an option to do the 200 and 300 level courses, or the 400 and 500 level courses, which are the upper year and the advanced courses. And then we have our practicum, which is in our last year, which provides hands-on experiences for us. So since it's a 2-year program, we do it in our last year and it spans over our last 2 semesters. And there's so many great and unique like opportunities for us, even within our own program, such as research assistant and peer mentorship, which are really awesome. Besides, all the other list of great options that we have outside of the program. So those are great. And I think Lindsay now is going to mention something about our mind map, but before we get there, there's a link at the bottom of the last slide, which also goes into that similar type of layout for all of our different option classes that you might need to look over. Very similar to the 4-year route one that we showed you previously. Obviously, it, like Sarah mentioned, it'll probably be different, slightly different. So make sure you check on that calendar that she mentioned earlier.
Yeah, as Laura was saying on the previous page, there are 2 documents. There is one document for the 4-year program and one document for the 2-year program. And because they have each their own set of requirements, there are the beginning of those pages have separate information, but most of the options are, I think all of them actually are the same.
Yeah, all options are the same because
yeah.
when you start in the 2-year route, you start in year 3 of this degree program. So all defined of options are the same, regardless of what route you start in. Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, for our 2-year program, it is catered towards university transfer students or individuals with an existing degree. As Laura said, the 2-year route has fewer requirements in that you basically get credit for a lot of the work that you've already done. So as I've said, there's the post diploma route. There we go. And then there's the transfer route. So if you have 12 units that are transferable from another program or course or faculty, you may be able to transfer those over into this program. But that is something that would have to be go over with Sarah. And it's kind of like a line by line thing, kind of tedious, but it's still workable. There are a few provinces that have an approved transferable post-secondary diploma, which is listed there. And again, if you're coming from anywhere else, it's that line by line option with Sarah that you have to kind of figure out. And then with the 2-year post-diploma, the requirements are a little bit different in that you only need 12 units from the first set of core, 6 units in your practicum, and 6 units in your next set of core, one class or 3 units in your next set of core. And again, you need your academic writing. And then for your options, they are slightly different as well. You need 12 units or 4 classes from health, 15 units or math, 5 classes from senior social sciences, and 1 class from your management options. Ruby's going to open up the student resources link at the bottom. For transfer students, the other one. Yeah, so if you go to this page and you scroll down, you actually have access to all the resources available. It has the 4-year route on top, and then just a couple lines down is the 2-year route. all in one page. It's really awesome. So it's sitting there ready for you. Again, this link is in the slides. So if you don't have to memorize where it is, you can just use the slides if you want to get a copy.
Perfect. Thank you, Lindsay and Laura. I'm going to touch now on practicums and support. So this program does offer numerous practicums both in the 4-year route and the 2-year route. Practicums allow you to apply classroom knowledge in real-world settings, providing valuable hands-on experience, as well as learning what is happening in these diverse settings in real time. In terms of support, there is peer mentorship support with graduating students as part of your first year support system. We provide a relaxed, less formal space to seek advice and ask questions while helping you develop your skills and confidence. I'm going to touch a little bit more into practicum experiences now. Your practicum experience may include an agency within early intervention education, senior programs, research team, or peer mentorship. CRDS specifically does not use clinical placements for practicum experiences. These practicums are designed to provide students with learning experiences outside that standard treatment type of view. Touching specifically on agencies that have been offered this year do include Four Seasons Transportation, Above and Beyond Care, Inclusion Alberta, Kids Cancer Care, and many more. I do want to say, though, that each year the CRDS program does expand and offer new practicum agencies and collaborate with many diverse communities. So the list does grow each year, thankfully, and allowing you to experience new agencies to collaborate with.
Thanks, Valia. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about student support and specifically resources on campus. The Student Wellness Center in Mac Hall is a valuable resource offering support and services for students' medical, mental health, and nutritional needs. We also have the Community Rehabilitation and Disability Studies Student Association, which is a student-led club. Their focus is advocacy, collaboration, and unity. They host numerous events, including annual bake sales, winter gala, and the Disability Research Conference. Their Instagram is posted there, and you can check it out for updates, including tips and tricks and student opportunities. And you should follow them for more information and consider joining them because it's a lot of fun. For the libraries, the UCalgary has 7, offering study spaces and academic support. Each library is specific to a different subject area, with the Taylor Family Digital Library being the largest, and the Health Sciences Library for the Cumming School of Medicine programs. There is also an online library where academic papers can be accessed using your UCID login. This will be very important for you later when you are writing papers and looking for peer-reviewed journals and articles that you need to refer to. Our librarian specific to CRDS is Alex Hayden. She's great, by the way, super knowledgeable. So definitely visit UCalgary Student Services for more information. And lastly, the Student Success Center offers all kinds of helps to students. You can book a one-on-one appointment, attend a workshop, or join a study group for any of those listed options on your screen.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Lindsay. Yeah, so that's our little very specific spiel on CRDS. I'm just now going to just talk about 2 slides, which on your student support, your portal will have, and this will really just help you finding all that classes, all those prerequisite classes that we've been going on and on about before you're into route. So on your student portal, there's actually something called a schedule builder. Speaking from experience and speaking from all 4 of us, when you enroll in the classes, which is literally fighting people to get into classes, this is going to be really, really helpful for whatever classes that you do need. This screenshot is actually just taken from my schedule builder. So I'm in my last year, so you will probably not see too much of core, but you can actually select your courses and search them up on this little select course, and they're gonna pop up in a list like this on here. Yeah, so I'm doing practicum now, right? On my first year, but you can do other classes, search up different classes on here, do this, and once you search them up on your right side, they're gonna give you a little bit more information. It's gonna tell you the name of it, you know, how many how many seats are available, for example, like this, and how many people are on the wait list. Here, you can also see who's teaching it, if it's online and if it's not. Now, for me, you can see that this is online. My core practicum is actually online, but the other rest is in person. You can tell which room it is on here as well. But what's really good about Schedule Builder is it actually pops up as a schedule for week to week. So for me, I'm like booked up on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I have, if you see this little mouse here, it will show you that it is online. So that's really easy to see as well. But for here, I really like using schedule builders, especially when you're in this major, because you want to leave some time. You want to look at a visual image of like what your week will look like. You want to save some time, you know, for your practicum, for your studies. So that's really where you want to use this resource. Here you can also enroll in classes for here as well. So that is really, really helpful. So play around with this. I would really, really recommend play around with this. Get to know it before you have to like, I don't want to scare you guys, but fight people for classes. But yeah. Next one I'm gonna actually talk about is tuition. That's really important as well. But on your student portal, if you see here, you're gonna see this entire little like index. And if you click on your financials, this is gonna just show you your tuition for winter semester, fall semester, and if you're feeling, you know, really up for it with some spring and summer tuition as well. For me right now, I already paid for my fall, so it's gonna be like 0. But what is future due is you're gonna see it as well. If you apply for like government aid or student aid, it's also gonna pop up on here, and it's gonna show you when you received it, if you didn't receive it, many things like that. What's really important here is if you see this part, payment options, it's gonna just break down how you can pay. So yeah. Oh, Lindsay, you wanna add a little bit?
Yeah, actually, Benjamin is here, guys. I didn't know that, but he's here. And he just sent me a note saying that for Schedule Builder, it's a good tool to create your schedule, but once you're enrolled, you should not use it to make any adjustments. They need to use their student center to avoid any oopsies or accidental dropsies.
You know what? I can actually speak to that because I dropped 2 classes last semester and I almost cried. So don't make the same mistakes.
And also don't get too hung up on it tonight because for anybody who's admitted, I do an actual registration info session for the 2 separate routes and we'll go over all of this. So you won't even see Schedule Builder because you either haven't applied yet or you haven't even been offered a seat yet. So you may go into your student center right now and be like, what are they talking about? So this is kind of like a really good preview to know what you should be looking for once you are admitted and pay your deposit. And then an info session will come in to kind of go over all this. So we kind of do the pros and cons of each thing. So I really like that you guys are getting like a little snapshot from these guys of what registration looks like. And then we'll dig deeper into that in the spring once, hopefully, you start our program next fall.
But yeah, this is just a preview. This is what we are seeing, and then you hopefully will be seeing as well. But yeah, this is the tuition page. It's just really important. You can also like use this to apply for scholarships, which are really, really important as well. But I think Sarah is gonna go into that in a later info session. But yeah, these 2 slides, just when you get in, when you apply, when you get accepted, play around with it. It's just really, really important that you do play around with your student portal just so you know for the next year. So yeah.
So moving on, thanks everyone. What can you do with this degree? Really important question. So this degree kind of is a foundational for advanced degrees like a master's or a doctorate. For example, we have a lovely TA, Claire Feasby, who is actually doing her master's for community rehabilitation disability studies. And she's doing her thesis right now in feminist studies, and she's doing a great job with that. Another example for me, I'm applying for my master's of speech pathology right now at the University of Alberta. Same with Lindsay, she's applying for physiotherapy at the University of Alberta. So maybe I'll see you there, Lindsay. Okay, next we have opportunities in fields like teaching, college instruction, and guidance counseling. So, for example, Ruby, she wants to go into counseling, so she's doing her master's in that. I also know a lot of students who want to do their post-bachelor in education to be teachers, so that opens a lot of doors for that as well. And right after the program, you can go into roles in learning support, special education, and consulting in disability behavior or career guidance. So if, for example, I have a friend who graduated last year, and right now she's working at a school district as a disability consultant, which is huge now. We have a lot of children and families interested in inclusive education. So making sure that we have someone there in the school system to advocate for children with disabilities is super important. So she is doing a job that just very much needed. She's making great changes, making great strides in the disability community. So those are just some stories of things that you can do with this degree.
So, not to worry, we're getting close to our end of our spiel. But for us, as you know, we are kind of almost graduating. Um, Here's some like highlights and tips and tricks that we want to kind of just share with you. I'll just go first. It's really making connections. This is actually really, really special for me. Also, apologize if you're like staring at my chin. This is really special for me just because this program, lovely, it's a pro because it is a smaller program. You can make connections with a lot of people, not just like other students. You can make connections with your professors, your teacher assistants, your advisors, Sarah Holly, and other students. I know coming in, this was like really, I know like coming in as a student might be a little nerve-wracking. Just we would know because I actually came in my first year, COVID. So everything was done online. So, but not to worry. This program and this university will make it a little bit easier to make connections with a lot of people, and especially for me because I made a lot of connections with my professors, and they've helped me get into a lot of associations. So look forward to that. Yeah.
Next would be leadership. So something lovely about this program is we have so many opportunities to be leaders within our own program, within the university, within our communities. So yeah, explore lots of leadership opportunities to enhance your resume and even stand out for graduate school. If any of you are interested in that, what we're doing right now, us as peer mentors, we are doing a leadership role. I have a few friends who are doing research. They have leadership roles through there. They're leading research, which is crazy. Like that's something I never thought I would say like, oh my gosh, I know people who are like doing research. Like that's so cool. And even within like our other practicum opportunities, you have such an important role in different communities around the city. Even I think some leadership roles, some practicum opportunities are remote. So you can go into other smaller communities around Calgary or other cities to take advantage of those things there. And yeah, it's just great. There's so many things you can do.
A tip I would say is please ask questions. Don't hesitate in asking questions to deepen your understanding of the courses you attend. I myself ask questions all the time. Every advisor has gotten an email from me with some nice questions. Please don't be afraid to ask questions. If you are thinking something, there is a very good chance another student also has a similar question. There is no such thing as a dumb question. Ask away, please.
My tip is to get involved, especially if you're passionate about a topic in this field. If you're planning to attend graduate school, you'll want to stand out. Look for ways to showcase your talent. Apply for scholarships and grants, bursaries, share your research papers with other faculties or universities, like showing your artwork in multiple galleries for exposure. Participate in faculty events to highlight your work, like an artist exhibition. Speak at campus or university events to spread your ideas far and wide, like you would in a TED Talk. And most importantly, offer up your ideas to your professors. Your thoughts are like seeds that you plant. You never know what new opportunities they might grow into.
So what are the next steps for you all incoming students? We highly recommend that you contact your advisors, Sarah and Ben, who are here. Their emails are right here on the slide. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything at all, they would be happy to help. They're great. Then whenever you have, like Sarah mentioned, whenever you have paid your deposit and all that's done, make sure that you pick your classes, play around with the schedule builder, see kind of what's available, when you can fit things in. And then on your portal, your UCalgary portal, you will be able to see when your assigned date and time is for your actual enrollment into those classes. So make sure that you are there right on time to do that, so you can get first grabs onto any of the classes that you want. It is quite competitive, as Ruby mentioned earlier. And then we have a new student checklist, so you can check the register, or which is just the checklist of things that to do, to get done, as well as there's one for transfer students. So we have the two links right there. We also have another link for the important dates and deadlines, which is a hyperlink where it says UCalgary tentative future dates. So that's really important to know. And then also explore your options. Take a look at those lists that we provided on the Google Docs. See what option classes interest you the most. You know, we have so many of sociology, psychology, geography, physics, chemistry, bio, so many different things. Whatever you're interested in that's on that list, you can do. So highly recommend that you do that. And yeah, just keep connecting with your mentors, your advisors, and your peers early on, so you can just have a really enriching experience here at the University of Calgary.
Okay, so now we're officially done our spiel. So, Sarah, if it's okay, we can open the floor up for questions and answers now.
Yeah, for sure. This was really great, guys. I think every slide was so informative. Something I want to add that a lot of new students ask about. We are in the Cumming School of Medicine. That's where our program's located. We're a bachelor program. There's only 2 of them in the faculty. We are not connected with the med program. We are in such different worlds under the same umbrella. We are not connected to them. They know about our program. They know the value of breaking barriers and advocacy. That's why we're invited over to join their faculty, but we're not part of the med program. Does this mean you cannot apply to the med school? You can. We have students that are doing it. You can do it with any degree. I just always want to make that clear to anybody who's new. It's like, this isn't a way or a direct way into the med program. That doesn't exist in any university that offers a med program. But we just happen to sit under the same massive umbrella of a faculty with them. So that's just something I always want to kind of point out, because something that you guys pointed out in a slide was like the clinical part. Like, we are not a clinical program. Yeah, we are about community, breaking barriers. We talk about disability and advocacy, and you'll find out very soon that it fits pretty much in every sector of life. And whether it's through city planning, whether it's through a health profession, policy, management, occupational therapy, social work, this degree will help provide such great knowledge to help you go on to your next career or your next grad program, which our mentors here have really did a great job explaining all of that. So I know I usually get emails and questions on that. So I just kind of like to tell anybody in this info session that we're not like a segue into the med program at all. No program is at U of C. Even if they have science in their degree title, doesn't mean that they're getting into the med program or have a better opportunity than somebody else from a different faculty. So
Yeah, actually, I know a lot of people that's used this program to go into law school. So
yes, that's another
medicine,
one. Yes,
yeah.
Ruby, that's right. Yeah.
One of the great things about this program is that specialization factor that you can include. So by being particular about which options you choose, can really help you find or create your niche of where you want to be that professional in. So if you do take some of the law classes, you can have your CRDS degree, but you specialize in law, or as an architectural planner, or as an arts therapist. If you take the arts classes, like there are so many opportunities, and one of the most important things to know is that I lost my train of thought.
And yeah, Lindsay, I think too as well, like this doesn't get you into law school, but it helps you prepare for it, like Lindsay, you were mentioning, right? About like you could do a minor or whatnot, but I mean, law school is a different faculty, a different program altogether. But yeah, you could build the foundation, some foundational knowledge to help you apply to law school. So those are really great examples as well.
Yeah, what I was going to say is actually something that I was talking with Ben about recently, is that um, disability touches every part of our lives. Okay, you move in and out of disability your whole life. And the simple fact is that every faculty, every program should have a disability chair at the table. No matter if you are in marketing, you having experience with disability, understanding how your marketing skills are not translating into a disabled person's life, or how you're missing that audience, is one example of that. Just want to say that. And sorry, so we're just going to go into our Q&A. On the our emails and our names are up, and also our program, which each of us is doing, so that you can kind of make it easy for you to direct your questions to us. So we're waiting with bated breath to answer your questions.
I also want to add to all this, if you don't know what you want to do with this degree, especially coming from high school, that's very okay. You don't need to know a career right away. We don't expect you to know anything. So it's okay. Or you may have something in mind that you want to do and change your mind completely. And we actually love that too. So we have people that come in with a mindset that they're going to do this with this degree, and then they go out in the practicums, and then they realize I want to kind of veer off into a different area. And that's what your education is all about. It's to experience, it's sometimes to figure out what you don't like and what you do like, and to play around with that, and then to engage with different groups and courses. So never worry that you have to have something set in stone when you're starting university. I think that's very unrealistic. So have a little bit of fun with it too, which I think you guys did a great job of also highlighting, is explore your options and whatnot. So Q&A, I see it pop up. Is there?
Yeah, so somebody's asking, how is this degree different than doing kinesiology? That's a night and day question. Um, so as mentioned earlier, we're not looking at doing clinical work, and it's not about talking about being affected by a disability. It's more about understanding what disability is in the community as a whole. So it's not like I broke my leg and I need to get rehabilitated so that I can get back to work. It's more like the social understanding of the barriers that someone might experience because they broke their leg, if that makes sense. So it's one of the easiest ways for us to explain it is that you have the medical model of disability and the social model of disability. And we are focusing on the social model in that there are barriers that pop up in your life when you have a disability and how we can stand up for those people or accommodate those people. I hope that answers your question.
And it's a sports science degree, right? Kinesiology is sports science. We don't teach sports science topics. You can take kines courses, of course, but we kind of have a little more about theory and disability and whatnot. And I think a lot of people have come back from these, like going into OT and PT, saying that learning that the person's more than just a patient, they deserve advocacy and a voice, is a perspective that they're bringing into the therapy field as well. So
Do any of my other peer mentors see the Q&As? If not, I can read them out.
I can't.
Okay, so here's the next question that I'm going to get one of you guys to answer. For practicums, when does it usually start? Does it start during the first year?
I can answer that.
Sure.
There, I believe, 3 or 4 practicums. There is one the first year. Sorry, I missed the number.
I can, so
or
Because
Yeah.
because our last year one is spread out through 2 semesters, which is why in my head I look at that as 1, but it's actually 2. So there are 4. Yes, first year, I want to say third year, and then last year, if that is the correct order, but I may be wrong on that.
I think, so the first one is in the first year, it's core 207, which we will be implementing. But the second one, which is like core 487, you can actually choose if you're doing 4-year. Okay. I think I'll let Lindsay or Laura talk about the second year. I don't think no, second route does not have core 487. So never mind that. The four route has 4. The first one's in the first year. The second one can be in your second year or third year. Just depends on when you're gonna take the class, I believe. I know I took mine in my second year, and I know a bunch of people took it on your third year. And then your third and fourth practicum will be on your last year, I think. Yes. Which I don't know if it's required to be in the last year.
it should be.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because people get job offers out of it as well. And 487 is a prerequisite in the 4-year route. 487 is a prerequisite to take the senior ones. Students like Lindsay and Laura that are in the 2-year route, they only do the senior practicums,
We
594,
did,
595.
but just to say, we did do practicums in
In your
our
diploma.
diplomas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are
Um,
technically our first practicums.
Yeah. Laura, do you want to take the next question that Sarah's not typing an answer to? It says, is specializing through the options you choose formally recognized, or more so just a way to give yourself more knowledge in a potential future area?
Could you clarify, whoever wrote the question, could you clarify what you mean by formally recognized? Lindsay, do you know what they could mean by that?
I'm thinking like if you were to take a law class or something that might be considered a law class, is that something that could be formally recognized as some sort of accreditation?
A way that I maybe see the question, or the way that I know how to answer this, would be if, let's say, you wanted to go, or you had an interest in law school going forward, and you took a law class in your undergrad, if you're in community rehab, if you're taking a class that's a prerequisite, let's say for your law degree later on, then yes, it would be formally recognized because it's on your transcript. So they would see that, they would take that into consideration as a prerequisite class. It would also show that you have like an interest or knowledge on political science or law or things like that. There is actually a law and disability class through this program. It's a core class. I know people who've taken it, they absolutely love it. It's very interesting. So if that's kind of where you're going with the question, that's how I would answer it. Like for example, Lindsay and I, we both have prerequisites for our individual programs that we're applying to our masters too. And so we kind of like killed two birds with one stone by doing like a prerequisite class as well as an option class at the same time that, you know, uh,
Yeah, a great example
what,
would
yeah,
a great example would be a lot of master's programs now require an Indigenous Studies class. Well,
Yeah.
that's also a class that's offered at the University of Calgary. So I was able to take an Indigenous Studies class to use towards my degree here for BCR. And I'm also allowed to use the fact that I took that class as a prerequisite requirement for my University of Alberta application, if that makes sense. The last question that I have on the screen for all peer mentors is, how did you guys figure out or end up doing this degree? Did you always know you wanted to do rehabilitation?
I can go first. No, I did not always know that I wanted to do rehabilitation. Honestly, out of high school, I was very, very, very confused, as I think all of us were. In my head, I wanted to do psychology. That is all I was thinking about. I was like, psychology for some reason. I don't know why, but that's where I wanted to go. I did not even know that UFC offered this program, to be very honest. And then when I was doing my application research, I was reading the description. I didn't even read the name, to be honest. I was just reading the description. And everything that this program had to offer, it just it resonated with me and it aligned. Like I was reading it and I was like, this is what I want to do. And again, I did not even know that this was an option. So I did that is what kind of piqued my interest, the description to begin with. And then I started actually taking these classes and like the more core classes I took, the more I realized how passionate and how much I actually loved this program. And like Sarah did say earlier, I did take a psychology course and I realized that it is definitely not what I want to do at all. So that's the other thing is that you can explore too. I like that with our university classes, with our practicing experiences, it gives you real life exposure. You get a little bit of a glimpse into what you're passionate about. And like she said, it's okay to not like what you originally had planned for yourself. Like I took one psychology course and I was like, this is the worst. Again, this is for me. Ruby over here loves psychology. She's a psych major. But for me, it just did not work for me. But it took me time to realize that that is okay. It is okay to go a different route than what you had originally planned because realistically, for me at least, what I had planned at the start, at the end of high school, is definitely not where I'm at right now. And due to my exposure with this community rehabilitation program, I get to realize and I learn a little bit more about myself too, what I'm actually interested in, what does drive my passion, especially with the hands on experience. Like my practicums made me realize how much I love doing what I'm doing. That practicum exposure helped me the most, I would say, because I realized that I do like the aspect of, for example, the social justice lens or the social model. That's one thing that changed my thinking. And it just made me realize that, yes, actually, like this is what I think. And I'm not the only one that sees these barriers from society. I'm not the only one that questions societal norms. So I think exploring this route kind of made me realize that I'm more passionate about this. But to be fair, at the very start, I was very confused and I was lost with what I wanted, if that helps anyone.
I can also speak to that a little bit. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do. Honestly, in grade 11, I was like, I wasn't even thinking about university. I was like, whatever, I'll get into whatever I want. But then I started getting like Willie, like I was reading the description. It's because I actually didn't know what to do. And then I was like, because this major offered practicums, it gave me like a chance to kind of figure out again. Let me just lift this up because I feel like you're staring at my chair. Yeah, like because this offered me hands-on experience. You never know what you like until you actually get into that experience. And I also like to say, I only knew I had like a literal basic idea, and that's okay too. I had a basic idea. I want to help people. I know that I can't take core or blood, so that's med school is out for me. And so I was like, oh, like psychology, PT, and anything like that. And because this practicum offered me hands-on experience, I can like explore those options. And I would like to give credit to Sarah for my route, my study route right now, because she is the one that actually helped me to apply for that dual degree. And I think she remembers well, I'm a very annoying person. I just like email everybody. So like she remembers me a lot from first year because I didn't know anything what I wanted to do. But in my first year, I did my practicum in a PT place. And you know what? That made me realize I'm lazy. I do not want to stand up and I don't want to like exercise is just not my thing, okay? So that really just like solidified that I just want to sit and talk to people. So you guess what? My major is now CRDS and psych, right? So again, don't need to know what you want to do. So yeah, that's my little spiel. But yeah.
Laura, do you want to go next?
I guess for me, I obviously did my 2-year diploma speech assisting, and I worked for a year, and I was like, you know what? I love this job. Doesn't pay enough, unfortunately. I want to be a speech pathologist. Um, and honestly, I did really love the part about like assessing and doing the paperwork and all that stuff. Like, I like doing the therapy, but also like the administrative side of things. So I said, what can I do? And this program transferred, and it was close to home for me. It was the right program at the right time for me. And I looked more into it because I didn't really know what it entailed at the time. And so I looked into it and I was like, honestly, this is pretty cool. Like, this is way more, I guess, like the social science part of things. And I had always had like been more of the science because I was like, okay, this is how you manage like this type of speech error, this type of speech articulation issue, or whatever. And so now I'm actually looking at the behind the scenes of like what my patients actually felt and how they were managing life and how they go through life and honestly I'm still a practicing speech assistant, so it's really, really, really changed the way that I work with my patients and the way I talk to my patients and the way that I go about therapy. I'm a completely different person now in the last year and a half that I've been in this program. Much more empathetic, much more considerate. Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot about the way that I work, which I think it's going to be a huge plus for me going into like actually being a speech pathologist. I think it's definitely going to change the way I think about things. I also think that applying for my master's, it's going to add a little bit of like, spice to my application, just because a lot of the people who apply for the master's I'm applying to come from a science background, and they're all science, science, science. They don't think about the patient as a person, or they just think about the problem. And we can't think about it that way anymore. I always say like Canada specifically is such a diverse country. We cannot just think of people in a binary way. It's not black and white. It's not. We can't put people in boxes when we're treating them. So I think that this program has really opened my eyes in that respect.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Laura. For me, I I actually experienced multiple knee surgeries in my teens and early 20s. And I remember thinking, hey, I kind of like going to physio. So when I was in my mid 20s, that's when I discovered the rehabilitation therapy assisting program at SAIT, and I went and I did it. And then right when I graduated, I found out I was pregnant. So, pivot. I worked off and on throughout raising kids, and I realized that I didn't want to be taking instruction from somebody who was a lot younger than me. So I decided I wanted to be my own physiotherapist. I didn't want to be an assistant. And when the pandemic hit and my husband was home 24/7, I realized, well, what am I here for? Like, what's my purpose if you're here? So I decided um, I would go ahead and kickstart my education again. And yes, I may be 40 years old, but when you're in a room full of young 20 somethings, um, you get to hand out a lot of mom hugs, which I quite like to do as well.
So apologies, I actually can't read the chat. Um, but Sarah was able to send me this question. There is this question regarding to how's the workload and the balance for this degree. I honestly, if I don't want to speak for everybody, but I found it very, very manageable. And I do get this a lot of questions, like managing two double degrees. One thing with the double degrees, you're not actually doing double the work. You're actually getting 2 degrees for the price of one. I actually would like to say that, just because there are classes, where you can just knock off like two birds with one stone. Yes, that's the phrase. But yeah, so there are different. I think only for the psych major, you're only required something special for this major is you have to do 2 specific classes, and that can also go into the requirement for psych and even a science option for, I think, core. So it's not, I wouldn't say that it's easy, nothing is easy, but for me, it is manageable. With the double degree, it's you can, if you're smart about it, and of course, email Sarah, email your advisors for your other majors. Doesn't have to be psych, but it can be like other things. Email your advisor, and they're gonna give you some tips and tricks on which classes can knock off requirements for both, and that will make it a little bit easier. One thing with the double major is that you might require one more year, so we like to finish a major, like let's say you have one major you like to finish in 4 years. You would probably take 5 classes per semester, but I took 5 because there is a little bit more of a requirement, but it's not like it's harder, if that makes sense. You're just doing one more year of just the work that you're going to be doing for a major anyways. So but then at the end you get 2 majors, right? Lindsay, I know, did you want to?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, when it comes down to workload balance, that's the beauty of university. You get to pick how many classes you do each semester. If you're like me, I was trying to get through this in the 2 years. But when it came time for me to do my final year, I also needed to do my practicum, which we're doing now and what this whole thing is a part of. But I realized I couldn't be a mom and um, do the practicum and do the 3 classes or 4 classes, I can't remember, that I was enrolled in. So I ended up deferring my practicum until this year, which has worked out beautifully for me because I can actually give more to the students that we're mentoring than I would have been able to last semester or last year.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of it is, like, if you're anything like me, I am super lazy. So I usually did all the hard part first. So I did all my required classes, all those hard stuff, and then I left all the fun part, like the practicums and the options, till the last year. Right now, if you saw my schedule on my schedule builder, I'm taking dance. Okay, that's an option too, take dance. So I left it all at the end, and then you can also take spring and summer classes. So the beauty is, like Lindsay said, it's so flexible. You can do what you can, right? Do what you can or what you want, right? So yeah.
I wanted to add to what Lindsay said, definitely emphasizing on flexibility. I think it's important for you to just communicate with your academic advisor. Like for me, for example, throughout university, I work full time, and sometimes it is difficult managing both of that. But once, like for me too, I spoke with Sarah, and when you communicate and you yourself also figured out what is manageable for you, and understanding that something that's manageable for you is it's going to look different for everyone. If your friend is taking this many courses, does not mean you have to do that too. That's the thing I did like, and with Sarah, she was able to help me understand that too, is that university is such a unique experience to everyone. Everyone has a different journey. It is important to figure out what is doable for you. And I think for me, once I was able to understand that it is not a rush. Like I'm in my 5th year. It is not a competition of who can finish first here. It is navigating life with university alongside. And then for me, I think being able to thoroughly understand that made me realize that I can make such a doable schedule. And again, playing around on Schedule Builder helped me out so much. There have been many years where I've been able to make all my classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, for example, and I would work the other days. This year, I was able to move my classes towards like morning times. So now I go to work after my morning classes. So that's also the what I like being in university. Obviously, we didn't have that flexibility in high school. It was you have to take these specific courses at this specific time. But I love that you can move it around to what works best for you. So just remember that there is no rush. Like just take your time. It is okay.
You have 10 years to complete the degree. Um, that's lots. Have I seen 10 years? Once. Um, and like to add to everybody too, like everybody here has a unique experience and they figure it out what works best for them. So there's some students that are taking 5 years, some taking 6, or some are taking 7, and that's okay. There's no rush to finish it in 4 years. I usually tell first year students taking 5 classes each semester is a lot. I'd rather see you take 4, which is that's the sweet number, and work on classes in the spring and summer. So yeah, just yeah, it's not a big rush at all. It isn't. It's a minimum of 2 years or 4 years, depending on the route, up to 10 years. So yeah, we're not kicking you out after 4 years or 2 years.
Thank goodness, because that would have left me in the alleyway.
Hey, Lindsay, I
Never,
would have
Lindsay,
been right
you
there
are
with
rocking it.
I would have been right there with her. Don't worry.
Well, I guess if those are really great questions from everybody, all the attendees, by the way, really good questions. So it's always nice to get that feedback from the pros here. They're the pros. You guys are, so.
There was one more question.
Oh.
If there are any students who are looking at going into using this route to go into the master's program, no matter if you're 4-year or 2-year, and you'd like someone to talk to about that, shoot me an email. I can go over my crazy planner that Sarah got to see a little while ago, and I can help you set yourself up to just kind of clear the field of any questions. No problem.
Oh, I just would like to say if you also have more questions with the combined degree, shoot me an email as well. I know it was definitely for me, I was like, I don't know how to navigate this, but again, Sarah helped me a lot. So I can give you tips and tricks on which classes you guys want to take in each year. So let me know. So, yeah. All our emails are on this slide as well. So yeah.
Any final comments, Willia or Laura?
Nope. Good luck, everyone. And yes, please email us. If there are any questions, we are here to help.
Yes, lots of support. We're very lucky in our program to have mentorship for first year students. So that makes us very unique and we appreciate it. So, all right, well, if that's it, hopefully I will be bombarding your inboxes once you get your application in and hopefully admit it. And you have lots of support from the students as well. Unfortunately, you will not see these guys next year because they're graduating. So you'll have a whole new group of mentors, but at least you'll be able to you have an understanding of the importance of the role that they have for our students when they start off next year. So thank you guys so much for attending, and thank you to each one of you guys for leading this amazing and detailed discussion. It's
The
been very,
faculty always picks the best people for the mentors, just saying.
yeah, they really do. This is a rock star team. I was very excited when I heard about it. So who's on the team this year? So yeah, they're great. So I really encourage you guys to contact them if you do have questions, to contact me as well. We're all here to help support and transition you into university. So otherwise, you guys enjoy the rest of your reading week. Is it? No. Yeah, there's a few days left. And everybody else, good luck with your applications.